Hi, Mayla. I thought rather than answering your email and trying to explain it in that, I'll just send you this short video around the thing about the formatting issue and your reference to when you print it and so on. So firstly, the versions that I grade for students are the electronic versions. I don't print them out. Okay, so to illustrate what I was referring to in my feedback, I downloaded your version of the assessment that you sent to me as the representative on the 22nd of November. I opened that up again without any of my grading comments and so on. So this is a clean version that I've opened from your email. So if we go to page 8, so firstly, what you can do if you want to check your own formatting and so on, which is very useful, is if you look at here, I've got Perla here. You won't have that, but that is my software that is integrated with Word that gives me the ability to work in APA format. So around this area in your Word, you will see a little icon like this, two vertical thin lines with a top left, like a little bubble to the left. So to be able to see the formatting, I will press that, which will allow me to explain to you the various issues. So I click that and you can see how the indicators appear, these little icons all over the place. So the toggle there, if you look at that, it says show hide, show paragraph marks and other hidden formatting symbols like spaces. So this is especially useful for advanced layout tasks, which, excuse me, at this level I think the tool would be very helpful because in as much as formatting is important at the honors level, it is very important, and especially when one submits like research proposals and research papers. So this might be a tool that you would want to incorporate in future. Okay, so if I move to page 7 and 8, where I think you mentioned the formatting issues. So my comments were in and around, if you look on page 7, there is this paragraph here. You will notice that there is a little arrow here, which is part of what this show height indicator shows. So that means that there is instead of a first line indent at 1.27 centimeters, that your group used the tab function to achieve that, or some other method to indent that paragraph. So if I show you the formatting for this paragraph, I have my cursor here at the start of that paragraph, and then I go and click on paragraph on top here to show the formatting, and you will see that there is no special indent, which is what you should be using to create these indents. So if you click on special indent, you will use should use the first line indent function. So and also what you've done with your paragraphs, or some of them, most of them, is to insert an 8-point space behind all paragraphs. So there shouldn't be any space after the paragraph. So let me see if I can illustrate this on your formatting. So there's your formatting. I'm just going to take it away, and then let's have a look at the paragraph formatting now. Okay, so it's still 8 with none there and so on. So to format this paragraph, all your paragraphs in your papers except the abstract. The abstract does not get a first line indent when you get to the proposal. So this paragraph, a normal paragraph, you indent first line at 1.27 over there, and then after the paragraph you must have nothing. So as I've done there, there's now nothing there. And then you click OK, and then you will see the paragraph is indicated as such, and there's no unusual spacing after the paragraph. Just to confirm that first line, no spacing, double spacing for lines. Okay, so that is what needs to be in there. So let me just undo everything until we're back. That's yours. Okay. The issue on page 8 is the same with that formatting there. There's an 8 space afterwards, and there's no first line indent. Okay, so that was there, and then I think some other areas that were similar. And then if we go to references, or maybe just before we move on, let me see. So in my recommended template 2, I've also got this as opened on that show paragraph and so on function. And if you look at this paragraph, let's say, and you go to, let's just make this a bit bigger, and you go to the formatting, it is first line 1.27 centimeters, no spacing. After paragraph, it's double line spacing, and that is then how that is formatted in my template. Okay, so if you go to the reference list, so okay, that's my recommended one. Let's go to the yours, which is group 4. This is the one. Okay, so we go to the reference list. So if you look at the reference list here, let me just see if I can make this a one-page view, one page, and make it a bit bigger. So reference entries. So I think I also made a comment, and you know, it's really for students' benefits. It makes it much easier to edit. So what I had in my template was, at this point I had in, or somewhere over here, I had in, where is it now, layout breaks, and we do a page break, let's say. So you don't have to press enter to move on to the next page. It just automatically goes to the next page. So in my one, you wouldn't have had that there, and that is what you would have had if you used my formatting. So then if I move through the reference list, I'll take a couple of them just to illustrate. So this first one here, Bekwa, Grobler, Olivier, and so on, okay, is, and I'm not actually going to talk about the actual APA formatting letter by letter. I just want to show you the overall formatting with line spacing and that sort of thing. So that is one entry. We can call that, for the lack of another expression, one paragraph. So each reference entry is kind of technically defined as a paragraph. Okay. So you will notice in your entry that there is a paragraph indicator after that text there, and then the paragraph, what should have been one, now continues as a second paragraph. So these are two very short paragraphs. So the only way you would have been able to do that, and there may be other ways, but sort of the same effect, is, and I'm just going to take this away. Okay, before I do that, so what you then did, somehow you created these two paragraphs from one sentence, one reference entry. And if I look at the formatting for these several words here, which is technically a paragraph, and I go to the paragraph indicator here, you will see what you've done here is you've changed my formatting, and whereas my line spacing would have been double here, over here you've got multiple. My formatting would not have had 8-point space after the paragraph, and my formatting would not have had none there. It would have been hanging indent at 1.27. Okay, so you didn't format that paragraph according to the template and APA. Then the second line, which is the second paragraph of one sentence, you broke that up into two. You formatted that one as first line indent of 1.27 centimeters and 8 point after the paragraph. So there's another 8 point in the second paragraph, what technically is a second paragraph, and again multiple line spacing. So my reference list would have been how I'm going to change this now. So firstly, I'm going to delete this paragraph indicator here, and just left to that, see that blinking cursor there, that little dot there in like a middle, in the middle of the line. That's not a full stop, that is like a space in terms of that indicator that shows paragraph and so on markings. So I'm just going to delete this paragraph marking. So now there is your entry, and then what I did with all my entries is I highlight all of that, just this illustration here, and you go to paragraph, and so you see this is now still remnants of your formatting. So I will go to after and I'll make that 0. Okay. Then multiple spacing, I will make double spacing. Okay, and then the reference entries should be special indented as hanging 1.27. So that is that 1.27. I click OK, and that is what an entry should look like. In the paragraph for that whole entry, there's no space after, it's double line spacing, hanging indent of 1.27 centimeters. Okay, so and while we're at it, just so that we can just cross that bridge as well. So I'm just going to, for a moment, take away this paragraph indicator thing. So this looks okay, that looks okay. Full stop, comma, and Van Niekerk A 2018. And then this is a book. Okay, so Economic and Management Research for HMEMS 80, whatever that means. And then UNISA Custom Edition. So let's just assume this Custom Edition is correct, which you would know. So we just take that as correct. The edition, whether it's a second, third, or whatever edition, in this case it's a custom edition, the brackets and everything in it will not be italicized, so whereas the rest of the title is italicized. Okay, and then after that, instead of a comma, you must have a full stop. That's one illustration of a reference entry. So that is the way you would create this whole list. So if you know, my list would be like that, and you can just build in your references in there and make sure that the reference formatting remains the same. So I want to show you another example of where you change the or how you presented the reference list. So let me just undo all my changes here. Okay, so I think that was it, yeah. Okay, see. Yeah. So if I go down to, I saw another entry that I think would be useful to look at. And the only way this could happen, the way you're doing your references, if it's done deliberately so, and what I mean by that is you consciously actually put in a paragraph breaks and so on and so forth by entering and so on. So this entry here, this is an article from some journal, a qualitative report. Let's just quickly change the formatting there. That must be italicized, and that is no space there. It's like that, and then those are the page numbers. So you can see in this entry, you created a break in this, what should be one like reference into paragraph, for lack of another expression. In this case, you broke it up into, inverted commas, paragraphs, 3 of them. So this is one paragraph in my definition of paragraph, which would be paragraph in Word because of that paragraph break sign there. The second paragraph that you broke into was that piece of what should be one paragraph. And then the third piece is the actual hyperlink. So to just illustrate again what must have been a deliberate sort of formatting thing, is the first paragraph of 3 is formatted like this. There is no indent here, it's special. There's it's 8-point spacing after the paragraph and then double line, okay, spacing. And then your second piece of the paragraph that you made, a second paragraph, is the qualitative report, and that one you formatted as also 8 spaces afterwards, double. And here you created the illusion of a hanging indent by then making that second line a first line indent of 1.27 centimeter. And then the third piece of your entry, which is, as I mentioned, the third paragraph of what should be kind of a combined paragraph for all 3 of these elements. The third one you formatted differently to the previous line, and you actually did an indent of left 1.27 instead of what you did previously as first line indent of 1.27, and you retain and you also have the 8-point spacing after the paragraph. Okay, so you can see there you're actually making life difficult for yourself by not, it's a very easy thing to get to grips with is how to use the paragraph formatting and so on, which I'm showing you now. You can play around with that, but you're making life very difficult for yourself by having to break up lines into pieces that will then fit together in the way that you're indicating hanging indent, which is really a very, very long way around and very cumbersome. So if I want to just convert this entry to what my formatting is like in the assessment template, so I'm deleting just taking away that paragraph break there. So you see there's that little middle dot over there means there's now 1 space after the full stop, the qualitative report and so on. So I'm now going to take the next paragraph break out as well, which will be after the page numbers and the full stop there. So I'll take this out, and you will notice that this hyperlink now jumps to to not be flowing directly from the qualitative report and the page numbers, and that is just because of the way that hyperlinks are formatted. And you should have it in like this. You shouldn't try and get this HTTPS now into directly after the full stop there. It would be unnatural, and the person reading your work won't be able to click on a link to go to the original source. Okay, so you just leave it as that, and then what you do is to get it to my format, which is the APA format. You would format your entries like I would now here for this one as hanging indent 1.27, double spacing is correct, left body text, no indentation at this side, only a special indent hanging, and then you take out the spacing after the paragraph, and then that's what the entry will look like. So it is one entry. It's not broken up into 3 mini paragraphs, and it makes your life much easier to do. And then you can see here your various other references are kind of in the same format, where you have paragraph breaks to break up what should be a one kind of paragraph thing. Apology for the sort of repeat of this. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful. So I don't print out, I work from electronic copy, and so the feedback I'm giving you is what I'm seeing in the electronic copy when I open the version that you send me.